I'm ready anytime you guys are. You're safe 2-ounce micro sprints tomorrow, right, Spencer? I got one deal. I'll send you here for the final live. On a couple things, here's Eastbound just got sent to me. To the top, I just sent to we have Mike James on and update now.
I don't hear Clinton. We have lost Clinton. He looks so good talking though.
Oh,
welcome,
here I
Reese
am.
fans.
How about that?
All right, geez, I was about to take over, man. That was my moment to shine.
No, I'm muted because the wizard needs his lashes again because I was told we were live there before we were actually live again. So I muted my microphone and was trying to get your guys' attention. But we're cool now. If I glitch in, I'll reset here, Spencer. So, how you doing today, Adam? Everything cool?
Everything's cool. I can't complain, buddy.
We have moved the show to Wednesday, not permanently. Obviously, Tuesday is the chosen deal. We hope everybody can join us. But from time to time, our crazy racing schedule has things shifted around, whether it's Adam, myself, or Spencer. Sometimes world around us gets a bit crazy. I got to go away, spend some time at the lake after Peterborough a bit, as jumped in and out. But welcome everybody here. We got a good show, Adam. Tonight is show 228. Big news hot off the press, just released, and not actually released because I told everybody to keep it quiet till now. I got an answer about an hour ago that Chase Briscoe will be racing at Oshweekend for the dirt race. Did I freeze up again?
That's awesome. Yeah, your face did freeze, but I can hear the audio. So Chase Briscoe coming out to play with us on July 11th with the NASCAR Canada Series.
Yeah, excited about that. We almost had him on the program tonight, but we just couldn't quite make that work, and now Max had to bring me out. Let me check my internet. I'll be right back.
Go for it. Gary, I want to answer your question, but I am not entirely sure I understand what you're asking. Detroit Super Late Model, the Nationals, important point. Should I go for it, go for the gold, or should I stay back and ride and see what I finish? So do me a favor, Gary. Try to reform that question a little bit, because I'm not sure if you're asking if you should come and race, if you're talking about Flamborough Speedway, the Gold Rush. John announced that, which was kind of curious because he had a super late model race. J.R. Fitzpatrick spanked the field. I shouldn't disrespect it. J.R. Fitzpatrick won. He had a great car. They didn't have a full field of cars, but John Caselli loves those cars so much. He has revived the Gold Rush. So that is going to take place. It'll be a midweek show at Flamborough, and he expects that they'll have some talent come up from Michigan to compete with the Ontario cars, and I think that'd be pretty damn cool. Welcome back.
Not surprising, but Stires told me he's buying one too, so hopefully he's got his together and ready to go by that time. Glenn's just going crazy. So Chase Briscoe coming to Oshweekend. That is super exciting. Tickets available. There'll be a lot more announcements about that. He'll be driving a Dave Jacobs Ford. The car will be number one. We know that. Sponsorship details still coming together in the midnight hour as we work it through the night, figure out where we can be. But cool. cool to have him with Dave Jacobs, Don Thompson as crew chief, and Chase Briscoe coming to the July 11th NASCAR Kansas Series race at Oshweekon. We offered him a sprint car, but he said he couldn't add any more sprint car stuff to his schedule this year, but possibly in the future. But for now, he was excited. And actually, Adam spoke to a few teams and drivers, and he was the first one that sent back and immediately within minutes and said, yeah, we'd love to come race the NASCAR Kansas Series, especially on dirt. So excited about that. He's a hot topic right now, obviously, with Stewart Haas Racing taking its way out of NASCAR. He's in line. At least they're talking about him to replace possibly Truex at Gibbs or in the Wood Brothers 21. So excited about that. I know Dave Jacobs is excited to have him there. So cool to make that happen.
Well, and it's a pretty potent combination. You got Dave Jacobs, Don Thompson, and Chase Briscoe. They should be able to put a real charge together.
That's always the question for the teams, really for the drivers, I should say. What team are you going to put me with? And, do we have a shot at winning? And I think they absolutely do with this combination. Excuse me. Speaking about having, unnecessary censorship, and I can't believe while I was up north, this didn't get a lot more play here than it did. But I don't know if we want to talk about it. Yeah, we can talk about it right now, Adam. So, what was it? Monday night you were on Jimmy Kimmel? When did this come out? What do we know?
I don't know.
Tell the story.
I don't know. Matt Bedard, someone I know because he raced go-karts, and he raced the Canadian Vintage Modifieds. We never raced together. He was younger, and I was out of the Vintage Modifieds before he came in. But we're friends on Facebook, and he sent me this link, and I thought it was just, I thought it was spam. He said, I can't believe you made it on Jimmy Kimmel. Like, you've seen crap like that. It's clickbait, right? I thought, huh. And like an idiot, I clicked it, and I watched it. I'm like, why did he send this to me? What's going on with this? And then right after Logan Paul and Donald Trump, that's when it happened.
So there's a segment. Now, let me ask some question with this. Have you verified this wasn't just someone editing that into a Jimmy Kimmel segment? This was actually on the national network. And I'm not trying to chew you down. I'm asking legit questions because I'm so out of the loop about this whole thing. It's on Kimmel's YouTube. Are you talking to the crowd or just in our ear like God again?
Spencer, stop doing that.
Spencer said it's on Kimmel's YouTube. So the Wizard verified that it is a legit thing. So there's a segment, and we can't show the whole clip because of copyright laws, right? So we can show a very brief clip of it, but they have a bunch of clips of stuff, and some of them were really good. We got to figure out. I think it's on that. You must have it on your Facebook, Adam, right? So you can find it there, and we'll figure out how to get it out to you if you really need. Send us a message. We'll share it with you. But Jimmy Kimmel has a segment that's edited from video clips and ads and all kinds of stuff, and yours and Dave Bradley's call of the NASCAR Canada race, and they put censorship bleeps where they don't need to be, and it makes it seem like something that is being said that isn't really being said is dirty or off the cuff or however you want to roll it. So I guess that's the best way I can set it up, but how amazing it was for you guys to follow Logan Paul and Donald Trump. Like, those are two of the most biggest stars in the world, from the oldest people in the world politically to the youngest, hippest kids on the internet. And there's you and Bradley's voice.
And we are not the hippest. And I was so thankful that at least my voice was on the clip. Like, I would have felt really left out if it was just Dave Bradley, right? That would kind
of like I do now.
Well, you know what? I thought that's kind of being dickish, Adam. But you're pit road, right? That's a different animal. You have your time to shine.
I love this for you guys. This is so freaking cool. Let's show what we can show, and then we'll analyze it a bit more. So Spencer has had to chop this up a bit to get the usable amounts we can, but you'll get the gist of it. Go, Spencer.
Give a you, brother. Huh?
That's the question.
You want to know something?
I want to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andrew Ranger is coming fast.
Oh, yeah. Somebody just dumped a bucket of right in front of Andrew Ranger, and he's a hungry shark.
So I like that there's crowd laughter.
I thought it was great. And so this leads us to a whole bunch of other questions I had when I'm up there fishing the other day. I'm like, well, wait a minute now. Is this somebody on their team is a Canadian race fan and saw the clips? Is this something that a race fan from here sent in to say, hey, you might want to add this to your segment because it's funny, or it could be funny? But, dude, you're on Jimmy Kimmel calling a NASCAR Canada Series race. I think that's badass. Even if they are making jokes of it.
No, well, at least they're not mocking us, right? They're making a mockery with us, but that's really cool. No, I think it's neat. I think it's very cool.
But they weren't picking on you guys. They were picking on the biggest stars in the world. And hey, I guess maybe your guys.
Well, I'll tell you,
that's what you guys are.
I sent the link to Andrew Ranger and Kevin Lacroix and Kevin's dad, Sylvain Lacroix, and they all loved it.
Oh, it's hilarious. And what perfect guys to be having that sentence of unnecessary censorship about a few of the guys with the best, sense of humor in the whole garage. So, no, good all around. Good all around for sure. Dan McCa is going to join us, and he can kick their ass. So
apparently
Saturday.
He's on. Apparently he's here with us. But now he's on camera. Now we got it all. I thought it was possible that the internet machine, the squirrels aren't running fast enough up in Cavan. I said Cavan, Dave. You like that? Let's see.
Yeah, that's good.
And Clint, you wouldn't know this, but I'm walking through the pits. And I go over to congratulate Dan on a race well done. And he said, you called me Dave and you said I'm from Cavan. I'm like, I certainly didn't. No, at that point, I didn't remember. I thought, man, did I? I say a lot of stupid things. Turns out that was not me, so I felt better about that. But anyways, enough of that. Dan, congratulations. Welcome to the show. That was really cool to see.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you to both of you for having me on. And thank you for everything that you guys do in the motorsports industry, for getting, the awareness out to fans and new fans, as well as, just bringing what happens to the track to everyone's living room.
Thanks so much. Dan, what a run for you. I was just going to say, I was going to get into the home track rule, Adam, but you go first to how this new rule allowed Dan into the series at all at Peterborough on Saturday.
Yeah. I'm going to make a couple of points about it, Clinton. First off, the way we know we're reaching new fans is because a lot of people reached out and said, who the hell's Dan McCa? And these have to be new fans because Dan McCa's been around for a long time and you've had a lot of success. But this is really cool because we're reaching people who weren't around for Moseport, Kawartha, Peterborough. You were part of a hot piece of the racing market for a long time. It's still, things are going great up in Peterborough, but talk about the heyday a little bit, Dan, when Kawartha and Moseport were going strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? There's always been a little bit of a separation in Toronto. The west side of Toronto, the racing market down there, and then kind of the east side of Toronto, Peterborough, Kawartha, Ottawa kind of thing. But nonetheless, I started in 1990. I was 13, racing a Challenger car, and I moved up into what was the sportsman class at Peterborough at the time, or Westgate. Turned into Peterborough, and then as soon as Kawartha opened, we jumped there, and it basically took on a pro late model rule package at that time that Mossport had, and we had guys. We had Jason Shaw and Derek Temiersma, Todd Nagel, a couple seasons in a row running there. We had Rod Sauter, Brad Corcoran. We had everybody that was anybody coming to run there weekly, and even in the later years with Derek running the track, who did a phenomenal job. We had guys coming from Vermont to run with us, fairly regularly, and we put on I feel like we put on a fantastic show, and the track was certainly a 2-groove track. We had a lot of 100-lap invitationals, and one, I was lucky enough to win a lot there. the track was open for 12 seasons, and I won 8 of the championships. Probably between that and Peterborough, that's where it all happened. I have 14 altogether between the 2 tracks, but there was a lot of stuff going on at Kawartha. It was a big time racing, a lot of good stuff. Kirk Hooker coming up, a lot of Steve Robley, a lot of guys from Delaware coming up lots of times, and it was a good show.
So I'm going to jump in, Clint, to what you talked about, the rules packages, because after practice, and a few of the locals were real fast in practice. And I know you've got fast drivers at Peterborough, but I went to Alex Nagy. I said, look, just tell me about the rules allowances that allow home track drivers to incorporate home track rules and race APC. Anywhere in there, is there an advantage to a home track? And he said, no. He says, things are either weight penalized or they're no advantage. It's just a matter of we don't want drivers to have to go out and buy 4 shocks just to race one race, or if the engine offset is different than the rules. But I went to Alex about that, Dan, because you were so fast in practice. I was just curious, is there anything in there that makes things better for these guys? And he said, nope, they're just good.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, on both sides, your side and Alex's side. I'll be honest with you, when I built my car, this car is a car I built 2 years ago. My other car was a great car, but my kids are getting older now and are they have a ton of interest in racing, and I wanted to show them kind of what I was capable of doing before I get out of it. And, they kind of thought that I was buying a kit or something and assembling it. But no, it's you dream it up in your head and you make it. And nonetheless, the rule package itself, I actually built my car to fit APC rules. So for really 99% of it, it already fits the rules. But I was a proponent of the actual package because it really entices or encourages the home track guys, whether it's me or anybody else, to support both their home track and the series. I'd love to support the series at every single race, but really financially, I just can't. So when it comes to my home track, I wanted to jump on board. Realistically, for me, I really fit the rule package. I did take advantage of the shock rule, the home track shock rule. I honestly, I get a weight break at Peterborough, not the APC race, but I get a break at Peterborough if I don't run the Bilstein shocks and I run a 30 series Coney shock. So we took an advantage of to that rule, and that was basically it. We made sure the car fit otherwise, kind of thing. But I know other guys, there's guys that, whether it's my home track or other tracks, that don't have the fancy transmission, don't have the fancy shocks, all this stuff that, they just want to go race, and they're probably going to get around that track just fine, but they don't need to spend that much money on the specific components that are required in the APC series.
It's funny, Dan. I was standing with Daryl Timmermans, the tech director for the APC series in Victory Lane, when you were doing your Victory Lane lap, and I basically asked him, I said, this is the home track situation, right? And he said, yep. And I said, is this going to cause you a bunch of bullshit? And he goes, yep. And he said, but realistically, when someone runs this good, someone's always going to have something to say about it. But Dan, were you surprised the performance you were able to lay on? Most of the APC guys, they were tight in a pack or fairly close, and you gapped them by straightaways and a damn near a 5-second win advantage. I know you probably thought you could run good, but could you ever imagine it would be that kind of whipping?
No. It really was circumstances. I mean, it's not because we really had that much better of a car. It's really just because, yes, I did have the familiarity with the track. I drive the track a lot differently than what a lot of guys coming from out of town that are unfamiliar with the track drove it. And a lot of guys really ended up loose in, and they were trying so hard to get the cars to pivot. They probably took wedge out of the car, or added a bunch of stagger, or late arced it in, and that just encourages the car to get looser as the race goes on. And honestly, I think that was really the benefit. I know guys up front there, Jake and stuff like that. I could see his car getting loose when I caught him, and I think really that was really it. Just the unfamiliarity of the track with most of the group, which really kind of perpetuated what happened. So,
does it make you want to come to Delaware, Dan? Specifically for the year-end race, the big year-end show, but does it make you want to travel down the highway, or are you going to stay close to home?
Definitely. I love Delaware, Delaware and Flamborough. I had when we ran the APC stuff before in 2015, all my finishes at Delaware were, I think, in the top 5. We had a second place run to Gressel one time there. And we had really good runs there, and I love the place. I love the faster, longer track. It reminds me a lot of Kawartha. It's there. Thinking about it, my young lad really wants to go run some of the stuff. He doesn't. I don't think he believes me when I tell stories of, one day I was good, but. The money for the regular APC series, I got a lot of great sponsors. But they're all friends of the family, and we just don't have the big dollar sponsorship to run the series that we would need.
Dan, from a fan perspective, they look at, okay, you're winning the race. You must be making tons of money. We know that's a fallacy. You already have the car. You already got tires. What is the cost? What's the big cost? Maybe for the fans who don't grasp, they don't get it. You got the parts, you got the tools, just get there. What is that cost that's keeping you away? Is it the race fuel, the hauler fuel, the tire bill, feeding the crew, the pits? What's that big cost?
Yeah, really to go down the road to a race that's not at our home track, I'm probably just to go run the race. I'm probably, $4,000, maybe $5,000. I think if you were skimping and didn't buy practice tires, you could probably get away with $3,000 or $35,000. But really to go to a new track, you really want to get. For me, not having an abundance of tires, I'm two sets of tires, and that was one of the things at Peterborough too. Like the largest challenge for me was understanding the tire. It's surprisingly, it's so much different than the Hoosier. To start with, it's got so much rubber on it. It's 6 or 8 pounds heavier each tire than the Hoosier, and sidewalls are so heavy on them. The spring rate is so much more on it. So really learning the tire, adjusting our tire pressures, and then the suspension part of it too, not having to squish the tire. It changed what we needed for packers on our bump stops, and we really needed to understand how much the tire grew or shrunk or whatever, and how only having an hour of practice to figure all that out was probably our largest challenge.
Well, it was fun to watch you conquer it, Dan, and I've never been so entertained by a short track race where the margin of victory was 5 seconds. You did stink up the show, but it was such a cool story, and there were great battles through the field, but it was just really cool to see home track racer take on the visiting series and win. And I think that's great for the Peterborough fans. On a different scale, it reminds me of what it used to be like to watch Junior Hanley beat the ASA stars at Cayuga. Like I said, a little bit different because he could go anywhere and do that also. But when you give the home track fans something to puff their chests out about, that's good for business for JP.
For sure it is. And you know what? It's good for business for the APC series too. It encourages cars to show up and join the series. We're past the heyday of the series starting out where it had 40 plus cars showing up to each race. But allowing this and start to bring in the local element as the tour kind of travels around each track, now they really only need to have 10 to 15 consistent tour point cars, and but they'll still have full fields by picking up that extra 5 or 10 cars each time they go to a local area. So and it really just kind of shows that you're going to go anywhere in Ontario and you're going to find the home track guys are just as good as me at their home track, and or even just the rest of the guys that James and Brian and Jacob and Ryan. Of course, Ryan can go anywhere and win. Every track's got the great group of guys there that can win.
Right on, Dan. You showed him you can win. What a win on the weekend as he won the APC race at Peterborough. Dan, thanks for joining us. We'll be in touch and keep talking to us for the right reasons.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Dan.
Dan McCca, the most recent winner on the APC Tour, and that is airing tonight on Rev TV right after our program. So if you missed that, go check it out on Rev TV across the country here. As soon as Spencer's ready, we're going to jump in with our buddy on the East Coast. We met a couple years back. Mike James is ready to join us, promoter of Eastbound. And Michael, how you doing, bye?
Hey, what's going on?
Gotta get what's happening. It's way past Mike's bedtime, right, Mike? You got to get to bed. You got a busy weekend ahead, and lots going on as NASCAR descends on the rock.
The next 3 days are definitely going to be busy, but I've been enjoying your program here tonight. And it's funny, Dan, I actually heard about this guy in Newfoundland a couple of days ago. And I was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. So this guy's story has made it all the way to the East Coast. So that's pretty impressive. So congratulations. Well, dude, that's awesome.
He builds his cars from the ground up.
Unbelievable.
He doesn't bring in a chassis and make it his own. He builds his own chassis. That doesn't happen very often.
I heard it in the garage right here in Newfoundland. So it's spreading across Canada. So keep it up, and maybe hopefully you'll get a big sponsor and come out east with us. That'd be awesome.
That'd be all right.
So Mike,
everyone should come out.
Before we get too far, Spencer, roll some of the slides I sent you about this weekend at Eastbound. Mike, talk about some of the buzz that's going on in Newfoundland and St. John's as we get ready to go to Avondale this weekend for the Proline Stadium 250 back at Eastbound Park.
Well, I know we pissed off Andrew Ranger by putting Kevin Lacroix on all the billboards across Newfoundland. No, it's exciting. You know, each year things are different. Last year we were on George Street with the parade, and we had a live bands, and we had a fan fest down there. This year, a little different. We're going to the Big Top. We're in a big circus tent with Sam Roberts, as well as the Sheepdogs and Wide Mouth Mason from Saskatoon. So a little bit of a 90s mix there, and it's going to be exciting. We're going to get those NASCAR drivers up on stage right after Sheepdogs, maybe screech a few people in, make them honorary Newfoundlanders, but really welcome all the teams from across Canada back to Newfoundland for year number 3. This is the final year of our 3-year deal. Hopefully we'll get an extension, but it's been an unbelievable ride. Every year it's been different. The race has been incredible. I mean, you know, this racetrack is a roller coaster, and to watch the last couple of years, the way things unfolded, you know, Marc-Andre Cameron in the first year, Trayton Lapsovich taking the huge win last year, battling with LeBay. We're super excited about Saturday afternoon. But one other big change this year. We got our home track heroes going to be joining us. We've done Thursday, we've done Friday with those guys, but our bandoleros, our U.S. legends, as well as our hobby stocks, as well as the late model sportsmen are going to share the spotlight with the NASCAR Canada Series. So during the afternoon, we'll see our bando kids, and then we'll go into our sportsmen, and then we have a little bit of a later program. So I think NASCAR Canada is showing 6:34 for green flag and possibly an 8 o'clock finish. So we'll be a little bit later getting to George Street this year, boys.
Well, I think we can make up for lost time, but I'm going to speak on behalf of everybody who is going to be there, Mike. Thank you for running your local classes. It is so much more fun. When we get to travel, everyone that's on these race teams, even these drivers, and for sure the officials, we're all race fans.
Yeah.
So it's really disappointing when we go to a track and we don't get to see what races at that local track. It's like, oh man, I see these guys race every week. I travel with them. I want to see what they do down here.
And we're super excited about the U.S. legends. You know, we had a 20-car field of U.S. legends when we first started out for the first 5 years, and then it kind of tailed off as, you know, people go off to different careers or whatnot, or have babies. You know, things change and come in cycles, but that class has really exploded, and race number 1 just a couple of weeks ago, man, oh man, it was wild. So they are talking about some veterans coming back, so we'll have a massive field. I think the biggest field for that Saturday afternoon is going to be U.S. legends, and possibly a couple of guest appearances. I know one of the crew chiefs or someone from NASCAR Canada jumped in, one of those legends last year.
I don't remember who that was, but Mike, let's go back to the Sheepdogs concert for a second. Spencer, can you pull that up? Go ahead, Adam. You can talk. But pull that up one slide, Spencer.
Yeah, someone got a free ride, and they did pretty good actually for just jumping in. But yeah, there's the concert. So that's going to start off at 5 o'clock Gates, and 7 o'clock I think we'll see Wide Mouth Mason. I don't know some of those classic tunes for them, but the Sheepdogs, man, I've seen them at the Grey Cup. I was so stoked about having a full Canadian lineup on that Friday night, but we've partnered up with our friends at Iceberg Alley. It's a 10-day festival. I know Bare Naked Ladies are there tonight. Tomorrow night is Blue Rodeo. Some of the teams are going to take in tomorrow night, but Friday night is our night. We'll be on the digital screens, and we'll have at 9 p.m. We'll have the starting lineup, or not the actual starting lineup, but we'll have the lineup from all the race car drivers up on the stage, and hopefully we'll screech them in with the Sheepdogs.
How far is Iceberg Alley from George Street?
A $5 Uber ride.
$5 Uber. I'm in. Apparently, there's tickets there.
We have that now.
That's awesome.
We have Uber now. We are the last place on the planet to finally get Uber. The taxi mafia has finally bowed down and allowed Uber here. So, yeah. So that's only happened recently. So it's a little bit easier to get around. But it's going to be great to see everybody back. I know the haulers just arrived literally a couple hours ago. We had a huge nightmare. The Argentia ferry just came in. It was a brand new boat, came in from China that they just finished, and they had, because of the war in Gaza, they had to go all the way down below Africa and make their way to Newfoundland. And in that trip, in the extension of the trip, they ended up with a lubrication problem. And so. So we lost the boat. They were a week behind. So the drivers had to come to Port aux Basques. And if you've ever heard of Port aux Basques, that's where that big hurricane hit. So all the drivers landed on the other side of Newfoundland this year, and they got to see the whole island. They drove all day today, and I got to talk to DJ Kennington. But they are all safe. They are here in St. John's. They're at the Confederation Building. And tomorrow afternoon, we'll do the first unveil for Sarah Thorne, the 06. So we have 3 local drivers in this event. Sarah Thorne represented the ladies. She was the highest finishing driver out of the 5 locals last year. And so we'll unveil her car tomorrow at 1:30 with DJ.
I'm just looking up the weather, Mike, because the last I looked, it looked gorgeous from what I could tell. Have you had to look that far down the line yet?
Sunny and 20, baby. Sunny and 20. So Corona's
Perfect.
At 8:30, and everybody's going to have a great time. I don't know what you guys did, but like tomorrow it's going to be 40 degrees here. Everybody's panicking, ordering up mini splits and heat pumps, and everybody's gone crazy. But you guys are definitely bringing the weather, the heat this week, and it's going to be great conditions. Now, one thing about this late start, it gets a little chilly here in Newfoundland, so these drivers better prepare themselves for a rude awakening about lap 150 as we get closer into the evening. That when the wind here in Newfoundland is kind of crazy. As soon as the sun starts to set and gets there over the horizon, we lose the wind that we usually carry. So they may see 3 different track variations at this race compared to what we've seen over the last 2 years.
They can handle it. They can handle it, Mike.
And we got to watch out for the moose. So we're going to have some moose stew this year. I know, Adam, you're looking for a new cuisine from the track, so I put in a request for you. We got some catering up in the tower for you this year. We got some stew. We got some chili for you guys. So you'll be much more comfortable this year up in the tower. So I think that's the payoff for you guys joining in on some local racing commentary.
See, Mike, we're all practical jokers around here, and you fit in right in with this crowd. So I never know if you're giving us real, hey, let's give these boys a real taste of local cuisine, or are you just screwing with us and making us eat like the shit nobody wants to eat?
I got some squid, some calamari, we got some lobsters, some crab.
It was cod stew or something, wasn't it, the first year out and we were there?
Delicious.
I actually don't remember.
let's go back to something you guys were talking about with Jimmy Kimmel. Do you guys realize Jimmy Kimmel is the official mayor of Dildo, Newfoundland and Labrador? So, which is only 15 minutes from the track. They did a whole 4 or 5 week commentary on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and they actually flew here, and now they have a Hollywood sign, well, similar to the Hollywood sign, but it says Dildo on the cliffs of Dildo, Newfoundland, and Jimmy Kimmel paid for it himself. So you might see the mayor while you're here.
That'd be awesome. Come in to get Adam's release for using his voice on the show this week. Mike, thanks so much for joining us. I know it's your crazy this week. I know personally what you go through, and it means a lot that you stayed up a little later to be with us tonight. And watch out, because Saturday I'll be on the way. Adam will be there Friday. He's skipping out on his duty on Friday. But my plane leaves here Saturday morning, and I'll be down there by the afternoon, and we'll hang out.
We'll have the red carpet ready for you boys, and we're going to have a good time as always. And Adam, prepare yourself for that Friday night under the big top. Man, I think you should actually dress up like a circus MC.
Wow.
I got a better mission for you, Mike, and I know you are worthy of this mission. When I fly into St. John's on Saturday morning I want Adam hung over as a wet rag, just dragging his ass around all day Saturday. So if you can get Adam liquored up Friday, that would be awesome for me to see him ass dragging.
I think Joe would get upset about that, wouldn't he? Would Joe officially get upset?
He would get upset. If you rent me a ringmaster suit, Mike, I will wear it for you on stage.
Oh, do it, Michael. Do it.
I'm going to Spirit Halloween right now.
They don't got Uber, but they got that, Adam.
Yeah, we got a Spirit Halloween, man. So, anyways, we'll be looking for a big top hat for you for the big circus. So, it's going to be awesome. I know you guys got a busy month. You guys are going to be over at Antigonish, which is great to have them back in the circuit. So, it's a busy couple of weeks for you guys. So, it's going to be great to have you here to kick things off this Saturday.
Yeah, it's a fun part of the season. I really hope we get to keep coming out that way. Hopefully they extend your contract.
Those that are listening, there's a seat sale right now in Air Canada if you want to join us for some codfish, some moose, and some racing here in Newfoundland. So I heard you can get a flight for $170 and head over to Newfoundland and join the party because it's a 3-day ordeal over here.
You can't even get
Go ahead.
This. You can't even get a van to get to the Toronto airport for $175, let alone fly from Toronto to Newfoundland.
There you go. Air Canada's got the big sale on, so get up there. It's not too late to join us. And if you can't find a hotel, I'll find someone to put you up. We'll in Newfoundland, if you knock on someone's door, they'll invite you in for a cup of tea and probably give you some supper. And if you don't have a place to stay, they'll find a spot as long as you're nice.
I can honestly say, Mike, you probably have the best destination race out of all the ones we go to. No, there isn't one driver, team, crew member that doesn't love getting back to the Rock. You guys do it up right. Even if you're going out to restaurants, whatever, you literally roll the red carpet. The whole town does. We appreciate it, Mike. Looking forward to it this weekend. And if fans and viewers, as Mike said, if you've ever wanted to go to a race, look it up to seat sale. Get your ass out there and join us because it'll be worth the weekend. Thank you, Mike. Have a couple great days. Stay productive, and we'll see you Friday, Saturday.
All right. Send me your rider list so I can have your rider available when you land.
Cold Pepsis. That's it, bud. See you later, Michael.
See you, boys.
One of the best promoters we've ever dealt with. Mike's a great guy. Always a blast to hang around with, and takes care of us when we get down to George Street later. Hooks us up with the hookups, and we always have a great time. So super appreciative of what Mike does. And, man, it is a blast. It is really a good time down there. I'll just confirm a couple things that we watch and go by in the chat. Chase Briscoe will be racing at Ush Weekend in the NASCAR event, only not the sprint cars. We did offer him both. Declined the sprint event, said he would be happy to race the NASCAR Canada Series event with the Dave Jacobs Racing #1. Tickets available by going to OshWeekendSpeedway.ca. Spencer, do we have an ad for that? Run it if we do. And then we'll come back to Adam. And then we're waiting for Brent Bigalow to join us.
Ohsweken Speedway welcomes back the NASCAR Canada Series to the Dirt on Thursday, July 11th for the Freshstone Dirt Classic. The Freshstone Dirt Classic will showcase the nation's top stock car series and its racing stars on the country's premier dirt track, Ohsweken Speedway. Sprint cars and stock cars, all on one ticket. July 11th at Ohsweken Speedway. Go to ohswekenspeedway.ca to reserve your tickets and camping.
Excited about that. Adam, what were you going to say?
I don't remember.
Perfect.
It's a long time. Oh, I think Mike James, Newfoundland. Whenever we go to races, no matter where they are, people want to make sure that you enjoy the race, right? They want to show you their facility. They want to show you what's special about. When you go to Newfoundland, they want you to have a good time from the time you land to the time you take off. And it's about where you going for dinner. Oh, you should try this place. This crew's going to be there. You know, here's where we're hanging out after. Oh, you got to try this out. Like, it's a crazy how welcoming they are.
Absolutely. You and I, 2 years running, have had a fantastic time and looking forward to it again. The flight, 4.5 hours. It's one out there. You don't realize how far out the rock is, but man, it is worth the trip. Before we get too deep, Brent Bigalow will be joining us soon. Spencer, we're not seeing him, so just bring him on when he gets here. We're fine with that. And there we have him, just like that. All right. Brent Bigalow's going to join us. Brent is a third-generation driver here from the Niagara region. Joined the Mike Bowman racing team to take over the crate that Bowman dominated so well in last year. We knew it was just a matter of time with Brent's history racing. Oh, man, Brent, I got to think you must have done karts at some point. I have you in Thunderstocks, Sportsman, Mod Lights. Am I missing anything there? Now, crates.
Actually, we didn't do any kart stuff. I was on dirt bike for most of my childhood, and Dad had the old '76 Camaro in the backyard. So one day I said, "How long would it take for that to turn into a Hoosier stock?" And Dad said, "Well, not that long." And before you knew it, it was in the garage, and him and his buddies were cutting it up. And then so it began. I think I was 16, 17 at the time. So did that, and then spent 4 or 5 years there, and then moved up to the sportsman ranks. And I think 4 or 5 years there, and then the opportunity to join the Mod Light team with Josh Slater Racing and that gang came to the table. But I really didn't want to let go of the sportsman deal. So I had the idea of doing both in the same night. And because the Mod Lights are their own sanctioning body, it didn't conflict with any of my dirt car stuff. So I ended up doing double duty and did that for another 4 years. And then Dad's being semi-retired, said, what are we going to do here? We're going to keep going, or you going to go on your own? So we ended up packing in the family deal, and then the opportunity came with the MBR semi car there, and now I'm doing that Friday nights and still the Mod Light Saturday nights.
How much difference is there racing a crate sprint car to racing a Mod Light? And I'm trying to relate this, Brent, to what a fan might see in the grandstands. They might not even think about what the differences are of racing one car over another, but how much difference is there behind the wheel?
I would say a big difference. The grip level is a lot different in the sprint car. They are both a twitchy car, so I guess you could relate the two there with that. But, I mean, the speeds are a little different. You're sitting a little higher up in the sprint car. In the Mod Light, you're on the ground, so you just have a little bit of the speed seems different. And and there's a little bit more body roll with the Mod Light, where the sprint car doesn't really move around too much. So, you know, when you go from car to car Friday night to Saturday night, I do got to remind myself of the do's and don'ts car to car, and you can somewhat give yourself bad habits. And yeah, you just got to get your mind right and do your best.
Brent, what kind of goals did you guys set coming into the year? You know, the car won everything in sight the past couple years. Literally last year, Bowman cleaned up with the car. Big shoes to fill. What type of things did Mike say to you? What expectations did you guys set as a team to, you know, start off your rookie year in the crates?
Yeah, it is a good piece, no doubt. But in the same token, they don't drive themselves, so you gotta muscle them around there and make the right decisions and stay on the ball. So yeah, we just try to get the car as comfortable as possible for me, and it's real close to what Mike was in. Me being a little bit lighter of a driver, we had to move some weight around and put some weight in it. So we just spent some time figuring out where we wanted it. There's not a lot of places to put lead in those cars, so that was a little bit of a hurdle, but we seem to have a good handle on it right now. And as for expectations, I mean, we want to win. I expect to do well. I studied all winter long. I watched a lot of video, so I did the best I could to prepare for the summer. And I feel like it's reflecting a little bit. So hopefully after the win Friday night, you just keep the ball rolling, pick off more wins, and let the chips fall where they may.
Where does that win stack up, Brent? You've won a lot of races in your career.
It's a top 5 win for sure. Probably not quite a top 3. Because I mean, Applefest, Brighton up there. You know, that's a big weekend for you know, anyone down here local. At the end of the year, everyone down here looks forward to going to Applefest, and that's a big weekend. It's a 2-night deal, and we were able to pick that off in 2017 or 18. So that's up there, and then. I mean, we won the ROC race in the sportsman car at Oswego. That's a big one because you don't go there too often, and the notebook's real thin. So go up there and win that against that stuff was a big deal. So it's definitely a top 5. It might be 3rd, but yeah, we'll see. We'll hopefully get a big one here and maybe national, something like that, and that'll take the top prize.
Right on, Brent. You know, how tough is it balancing both nights? You know, we talked about the style, but just scheduling, you know, working full-time, trying to manage the 2 teams. And what does the Sliders say about you getting this new ride, and do they have any concerns about it?
The schedules work real good. Shop night for the MBR team is Monday nights, and shop night for the JSR Mod Light team is Wednesday nights. So shop night didn't interfere at all. And then, I mean, race night's Friday night, and then back down here Saturday night. I mean, it didn't. The schedules blended real well, frankly. And no, they were supportive. You know, they knew I wouldn't. I've been running for them for a while now. They knew I wouldn't let a new program interfere with their program. It's 2 totally different deals on 2 totally different nights, and the expectations are still there, and I want to perform at a high level for them. And they've got a lot invested in the car I drive. It's a fairly new piece, so yeah, got to go out there and try and win every night with that team, as I do with the MBR sprint car. So,
Brent, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Congratulations on that win. I'm sure it's, even though you've only run a few races, I'm sure it's a monkey off your back, because I know how competitive you are, and you know that's a winning car. So it would frustrate you to no end, I'm sure, if you couldn't have got that done.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't so much a monkey because I mean we've only been at it for 4 weeks, so it wasn't really a monkey yet. But it was nice to get the momentum going, build some confidence with the team, and I mean those guys worked super hard. It was honestly a team win. They thrashed on that thing Monday nights and even all night in the pits, making adjustments, trying to keep up with the racetrack. If you had a camera on that thing Friday night, it was insane the stuff they were pulling off just to make sure that I had the best car possible. So it was a team win and a good confidence booster for everybody, and just get the momentum going here.
All right, Brent, good luck. We'll talk to you the rest of the season, and I'm sure picking up a couple more wins along the way. Brent Bigalow, driver of the 71 Crate Sprint Rush Weekend. Thanks, Brent. Wow, we had a busy show so far, Adam. Keeping it in Niagara right now. Humberstone's Final Five coming up. A week from this weekend is the first one. Throw it up, Spencer. It's the final All-Canadian. Sturgeon Lubricants presenting the Northeast Late Model Alliance, the Western Region Tour for the Dirt Sportsman. Thunder stocks, mini stocks, mod lights, and vintage cars. So price is only $20. Check it out. That's a week from this Sunday, June 30th. The All-Canadian, first of the final 5 events at Humberstone. And, I think crowd should be pretty good there. I'm thinking everybody who raced there over the years, it's usually, Adam, when a speedway goes away, we don't get the warning. It happens in the off season or it just doesn't reopen. It seems rare that we get to kiss it off and say goodbye. And I heard some inside info today from a roundabout source, and we know that a construction company owns the land it's on, and I'm hearing by November 16th, it's going to be a bear pit. Everything will be gone. All the buildings, everything will be gone. So they're not messing around. There won't be much hope. This isn't a bluff, people. It's going to be a cleaned off lot with everything gone by the middle and end of November. So make sure everybody gets out and checks it out for the final run at Humberstone. And, sad to see it go, but that's what can happen.
It can, unfortunately. So we need to appreciate what we have. We need to thank the Costco's for keeping it alive as long as they did.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to look at it. And I know what I forgot to ask to have on the rundown, Clinton. Do you? Probably should have put
I
it
just
near
want
the
to
end.
touch back to that. Back to my days, the Wagners had the place for a while. Then Costco's. Bittner stepped up when it had to come back. Then Terry got in. So the Costco's did a great deal and they held it for the most time. But a lot of other people had passion in that place too.
Yep.
What should have been on the rundown that wasn't?
I think it should have been near the very end of the show because it would make for a good finish line.
Is that a hint? Is the finish line a hint? I'm trying to think. I see. When you say what should be on the show, I rack my brain back to what are all the things you and I have talked about since maybe last Friday and maybe even since last Tuesday. Tell me, brother, what am I missing?
Who finished third Friday night in the 360s?
Oh, why are you putting me there? What's up?
Because you said we couldn't talk about it Friday, and I play by the rules Friday nights. Friday nights, the transponders score the finish. But during our show, we can have these conversations. So since you didn't prepare, I'm gonna look this up. I think someone shared it to me. Unless Spencer has it. Wouldn't surprise me if he had it. Because Spencer loves to stir it up. Huh. I don't even see it on mine. Where'd it go?
I don't think I'm jumping in to help this one at all.
You don't need to. I can't even remember who shared it. Talk amongst yourselves.
What are we looking at here?
Show that again, Spencer. It was questioned, and this is our Burger Barn video of the week. Ryan Turner finished third in the sprint car feature.
Mm-hmm.
And what's curious is, and this even supports your argument, Clinton, that the transponder is the rule, because that could be an optical illusion. The angle of the camera following those cars to the line.
Can we see it again?
Yeah, it appears Ryan Turner never is ahead of Mike Bowman.
And it's, in my opinion, it is not food. Like, I've seen how the line is laid in. I know where it is on these cars. I've seen it crooked at other tracks. I don't see how this could be there, but I want to see it. Obviously, we want it to be right.
So,
yeah, see, from that angle, do we have it any earlier? Or is that just where we pick up the edit? We'd have to go back to the camera, I guess. See, to me, I'm not sure how it flipped there. To me, the line is kind of right where the pole would be between the Dixieland sign and the Hunsinger sign.
and you have to look at the flag stand. You have to look at the part that Carter stands on. So the piece on the flag stand that goes out across the track.
Yeah, look
that
at that
is the
angle.
direction
And
of the line.
can you stop it right when the cars come into play, or as soon as you can, Spencer? Okay, stop it there. So if you draw a line on the same angle as Carter's stand, Turner's clearly ahead there.
I don't know if anything is crystal clear. I'm just saying, if somebody had suggested, hey, you should get a laser line so there's a finish line, it should run the same direction as the scoring loop, so it would actually be evident and visible who crosses a line first, right? Like even a casual fan, like Richard Hadler's here every week, Mike Carra, Tyler, Mary Jane is new. Mary Jane could even tell, this is the car that finished ahead of that car. Work with us here, people. Sort this out. You don't have to be a
Here's
rocket
why.
surgeon.
I don't even know why I need to waste my breath with you people.
Listen,
I can see. Here's what we don't need. 1 million people trying to run the program through the internet because the line is off by an inch, and at that moment, oh, he's here. I almost swore.
it seems to me, week in and week out, I get more ammunition. People keep loading my gun with more bullets over there should be a finish line. And Clinton, I want a bit of credit here, because on Friday night, I didn't make a big deal of it. Even though other people on the broadcast tried to make a big deal of it and tried to get me wound up, like, no, that's not what we talk about. We don't talk about this on Fridays because the rules are the rules. But come our show, come time for Rivalz Race Chat, I get to step up and say, boom, this is how it should have been.
Yeah, I still stand by exactly how it is. I would give you the laser light so you could see the angle, but it is never going to be precise because people will then see the crash bar across, and the transponder is still 8 inches behind that.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be looking at the nose cross the line, and you'll be screaming, "Oh, look at his nose is ahead!" But it doesn't matter because the real thing is 8 inches. And I know you're saying, well, if they're equal, it won't matter. But in these instances, it's usually somebody with more momentum than other, and it's where that momentum hits.
Trust me, the real thing is not 8 inches. Complete hearsay. you could actually, through the miracle of technology, adjust the line for every division, knowing where the transponder line is.
Shut up.
Listen, I'm throwing out ideas. I asked politely. I said, please, get me a static point on the outside and the inside of the track. I'll draw a line so we can have some fun. Please, get me a laser line. Put it on the bottom of the start-finish line. You said to me, come up with solutions. I'm all ears. I came up with numerous potential, not even solutions, just let's call it the Make Adam Happy line. I deserve some. Listen, everybody in the place has got nice things. We're still sitting up there in the raccoon village we call a tower, right? We're the only part of the place that hasn't been upgraded. I don't ask for much. I want to finish.
Yeah, but you're going to get the cushiest place in the property soon enough. All right, I will work on the Make Adam Happy line. As long as we can call it that, that's clearly not official. Yeah, of course the tower's cramped. Look who's sits in the center of it.
Tatter's been up there. Tatter came up into the tower. We said hello. Thank goodness Clinton wasn't there. You'd have just scowled at him.
Yeah.
So our next guest. Hey, so we had Joe Plazik up in the booth. That was a big hit. Our next guest is probably going to be Warren Coniam, another great talker.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, he's fun. A lot of knowledge, a lot of insight, a lot of sarcasm, a lot of jokes. He's got it all.
Let's do it. Get him up there as soon as we can. It is late model open night at Ashweekan. That's we bringing the best from Brighton and Buxton this weekend. Show the flyer, Spencer. We got it going on from FS Partners and County Line. No 360s, but the crates are still there along with Thunders and Minis. It's a great mixture this Friday, June 21st, at Ashweekan, the late model open. Bringing the big bad 604s against the opens. It's going to be awesome. This is always a great race, a great mixture. Adam won't be there, so it's a great night to come on down and be there live. Greg gets his choice. I'm not sure if Tommy's going to be in or we were talking about a couple other guys today, so we'll figure out who's going to join him up there. We didn't get to my topic of kids in the pits, but I do want to talk about that. We're going to save that one for next week because that could be a good argument, good discussion. We definitely want some fan feedback on that. We're not sure where we're going to land next week. We are on the road all week doing shows and bringing you broadcasts. Adam will be in Newfoundland Friday. I'll be at Ashweekan Friday. We'll both be in Newfoundland Saturday. Who knows when we get home, sometimes Sunday. Then we got all kinds of craziness. We may film some stuff down there. Next week's show may be pre-recorded. We may be totally preempted. We'll let you know as soon as we make a call on that. We're talking about doing it at the airports, which could be either disastrous or hilarious. One or the other. We'll see how that goes. We'll talk about that. Don't forget to just now tonight, Chase Briscoe will be at Ashweekan for the July 11th NASCAR Canada race. Make sure you check that out. Oh, Brighton has their late model open Saturday as well to invite the Buxton guys down. And let's remember, guys, let's get out there. Charlie Sandercock said it best. Let's get out and support these races. And I'm not just saying that because we're promoting one, but we were the guys that put these races on. And this is Charlie Sandercock saying these two tracks put these races on and scheduled them for the Buxton guys when Buxton was set to close. So we're asking the Buxton guys, we were supporting you back in the day. Please get out, support these races. These were giving you guys a few races when you had none. So please get out and support it. Brighton hasn't had one since like 8 years or 9 years, maybe even since they've had a late model open. Get down and check that out. If someone can win them both, we're putting up an extra $1,000. So someone can win both Friday and Saturday in the late models. Brighton and Ashweekan Speed will kick in a $1,000 bonus for the winner of both. So make sure you check that out. We're excited to have a great weekend and another good show. Thanks, everybody, for being here.